The air is thick, heavy with the primal scent of damp earth and the sweet decay of ferns. It is a suffocating atmosphere, weighted by the crushing reality that every breath taken is a victory earned against a world that demands a price for life. A low, guttural growl rips through the humid air and echoes between the towering, serrated fronds of ancient cycads, a sound that is not a warning, but a promise of imminent, visceral violence. On the muddy, treacherous banks of a primordial river in the land that will one day be called Arizona, a desperate, silent saga is unfolding. Here, a small herd of placerias, stout tusks jutting, the heavy-lidded pioneers of a world to come, huddles together. Their beaked faces, etched with a concern that transcends instinct, betray the deep animal knowledge of danger. Their powerful bodies, massive and muscled, are not just individual forms, but a communal, living wall of defense. They wait. They are not alone. From the dense shadows of the Triassic thicket, a sleek, reptilian predator emerges. Its eyes gleam with a cold, unblinking hunger, focused entirely on the soft-bodied, vulnerable young huddled at the center of the herd. The hunter coils, its ambush perfected, its strike only a heartbeat away from shattering the fragile peace. But just as the hunter launches its final deadly calculation, the ground beneath the creature's feet begins to tremble. It is a profound, earth-shaking vibration, a rhythmic, heavy tread that seems to shake the very bones of the world and the deep, compacted sediment of time. Another creature appears, a silhouette of terror and majesty, a walking fortress of bony plates and wicked, sweeping shoulder spikes, a colossal Desmatosuchus, a behemoth of the Triassic age. The predator freezes, its lethal ambush utterly spoiled, caught in a terrible calculus. It is now trapped, caught between a wall of Placeria's tusks and a mountain of impenetrable Desmatosuchus armor. In this brutal, ancient world, every moment is a negotiation with death, a dramatic confrontation where survival is the only prize, and the laws of nature are written in blood and bone. Who will triumph in this prehistoric standoff? Will the relentless pursuit of the hunter prevail? Will the social unity of the herd hold firm? Or will the sheer, passive resilience of the armored giant simply change the battlefield? Today, we journey back through the mists of time to walk with these lost titans, to witness their silent sagas, and to discover what their long-forgotten struggles can teach us about our own ceaseless negotiation with life. We begin our journey in the late Triassic period, a geological epoch that was not merely a time of existence, but a crucible of fierce evolutionary experimentation. Here, nature was not subtle. It was forging some of its most bizarre and resilient creations. Our first subject, Desmatosuchus, is the very definition of defensive mastery over aggressive ambition. Picture this creature lumbering from the primordial mists, an animal nearly 16 feet long, built low to the ground like a siege weapon. It was not a fast creature, nor was it particularly agile. It was, by design, a living tank, wrapped head to tail in a magnificent mosaic of osteoderms, bony plates embedded directly into its tough, leathery skin. This extensive, interlocking armor was more than protection. It was its heritage, its salvation, and its entire evolutionary thesis. From its massive skull ridge to the tip of its powerful tail, the Desmatosuchus was an almost impenetrable shield, a force field of calcium and keratin. But the true genius of its design, the magnificent, terrifying exclamation point on its body, lay in the pair of sweeping, wicked spikes that curved menacingly from its shoulders. These colossal protuberances, sharp and uncompromising, could easily exceed a foot in length. They were not structured for offense. Desmatosuchus did not lower its shoulder and charge its enemies like a charging rhinoceros. Instead, they were a pure declaration, an advertisement of danger that communicated a singular, terrifying message to the entire Triassic ecosystem. I am not worth the effort. Any predator foolish enough to test that claim, to try and maneuver around the armor and find a soft spot, would find its ambition, and likely its internal organs, gored, its lethal intent bleeding out into the unforgiving Triassic mud. Yet beneath this fearsome, intimidating exterior pulsed the quiet, steady heart of a gentle giant. Desmatosuchus was, contrary to its appearance, an herbivore, a peaceful soul in a land defined by violence. Its days were spent in quiet solitude, its heavy armored form providing all the companionship it needed. It used its specialized, pig-like snout to tirelessly dig for succulent roots and soft, hidden vegetation along the rich, silty riverbanks of ancient Texas and Arizona. This daily ritual was its true victory, a triumph of quiet necessity over violent ambition. Its survival was a strategy of passive resilience. It did not survive by conquering its enemies in open conflict, but by making the very idea of attacking it utterly unthinkable. It invested its entire evolutionary budget into defense, achieving a state of invulnerability that rendered its predators' most advanced weapons useless. This creature embodies the powerful philosophy that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in the sharpness of your claws, nor the speed of your escape, but in the thickness and ingenuity of your armor. This is a profound lesson etched in stone. How often in our own lives do we find ourselves seeking out confrontation, attempting to win through aggression or argument? The Desmatosuchus reminds us that building your intellectual, emotional, and physical defenses, preparing for the challenge, fortifying your inner world, can be infinitely more effective than seeking out the exhausting, often fruitless act of conflict. What defenses are you currently building in your life that declare to the world, "I am not worth the effort of attacking or distracting"? The Desmatosuchus, with its intimidating, thunderous presence, has unintentionally saved the herd of placerias in our opening confrontation. These stocky creatures represent an entirely different, yet equally successful, path to survival, a power built not on individual armor, but on collective resolve. Placerias was a dicynodont, a fascinating creature that occupies a profound space in the tapestry of life. It was neither reptile nor true mammal, but something in between, a synapsid, one of the earliest branches of life that would eventually lead to the mighty Dimetrodon and ultimately to every mammal that has ever lived, including ourselves. It was a symbol of evolutionary transition, a powerful, living bridge between two distinct worlds. Physically, Placerias was built for unyielding endurance. With its stout, barrel-chested body, it resembled a massive, oversized pig with a thick neck and formidable musculature. Its defining features were its beaked skull, perfect for shearing tough vegetation, and its two prominent, downward-curving tusks, which gave it a severe, determined appearance. These creatures did not roam the swamps and floodplains of the late Triassic as solitary fortresses. Their true brilliance lay in their social structure. They were a herd, and their power was rooted entirely in their social unity. When the shadow of a predator fell upon them, the Placerias did not scatter in panic, nor did they rely on individual speed or armor. Instead, they executed a coordinated, age-old strategy. They formed a defensive circle. In that moment, the individual dissolved into the collective. The largest, strongest adults rotated to face the threat, their thick, muscled flanks and formidable tusks forming a living, breathing wall. At the center of this protective barricade, the young, the old, and the most vulnerable were shielded. Their survival was a testament to collective effort. They communicated through a sophisticated language of grunts, bellows, and subtle body shifts, coordinating their movements, ensuring there were no weak points, sharing the burden of vigilance as the predator circled, looking for the fatal crack in their defense. This silent defiance against the relentless predators of their time is a powerful illustration of a timeless principle. There is profound strength in numbers. The Placerias teaches us that while individual strength is valuable, the sharpest tusk, the strongest flank, our ability to unite, to stand together for a common, protective purpose, is what truly allows us to face the insurmountable. The lone genius may innovate, but the unified community will endure. Where in your life or your community have you underestimated the collective power that is available when individuals choose cooperation over competition? Let us now travel further back, peeling away another layer of time, deep into the primordial realm of the Permian period, a world even more alien and less familiar to the modern eye. Here, in the murky, often oxygen-poor waters of ancient lakes and swamps, we encounter a creature that seems to defy all natural conventions, the Diplocaulus. This amphibian was an anatomical marvel, a profound masterclass in specialized evolution. It was not a grand, powerful giant, but a flattened, modest creature of stealth. Its most striking feature, the one that screams enigma, was of course its head, a massive crescent-shaped boomerang skull that could be over a foot wide on an animal only a few feet long. For centuries, paleontologists have debated its function, captivated by its sheer, bizarre impracticality. Was this massive head primarily a defensive shield, an unwieldy structure that made it utterly impossible for a larger predator to swallow the Diplocaulus whole? The mere width of the head would prevent a clean strike, forcing any hunter to give up in frustration. Was it a hydrofoil, a natural aerodynamic rudder that allowed the creature to glide effortlessly through the water, turning on a dime with unmatched precision, using the current to its advantage? Or was it something else entirely? Perhaps an organ for display, or a means to trap prey by slamming its vast head down and stunning smaller fish? The truth is likely a magnificent combination of all these things, a true expression of multifunctional brilliance. Imagine the world from its perspective, resting patiently on the bottom of a murky lake, its flattened body and dull coloration providing perfect camouflage. It was a master of stealth and efficiency, a patience hunter. When an unsuspecting fish or small organism swam by, the Diplocaulus would move with a swift, calculated burst of energy, its bizarre wing-like head allowing it to steer and correct its momentum with incredible agility, capitalizing on the briefest moment of opportunity. The Diplocaulus survived not through brute force, nor through thick armor, but through brilliant, anatomical design and a patient, calculating nature. It is the definitive symbol of niche adaptation. It found a unique, utterly unconventional way to thrive, a solution so strange it seems almost alien in its design. It challenges our very notion of what a successful biological design should look like and reminds us that sometimes the most unconventional solutions are the most effective because they eliminate competition. The creature that looks like a mistake is often the creature that survives. The Diplocaulus poses a challenging, crucial question to us. Are we bold enough to embrace our own unique qualities, even if they seem strange, unwieldy, or unconventional to others? Are we using our natural, specific boomerang to navigate the waters of our own lives? Or are we trying to reshape ourselves into something less effective but more conventional? What is the strangest, most unique feature of your own nature that you should stop hiding and start using as your greatest advantage? But But as the Diplocaulus mastered the murky waters below, a true titan of the Permian landscape was establishing its formidable dominance on the land. This was not a dinosaur. The age of reptiles was yet to truly begin. This was something far older, a precursor to that great age, and a distant, pivotal ancestor to us all. This was the mighty Dimetrodon.
Buried deep within the murky silt, the bizarrely shaped Diplocaulus waits patiently for unsuspected
With its sprawling, lizard-like limbs, giving it a powerful but low-slung gait, and a massive skull housing powerful jaws, Dimetrodon embodied primal, untamed power. Its mouth was a terrifying arsenal, lined with teeth of different sizes and shapes, a key revolutionary mammalian trait known as heterodonty. This capacity for specialized chewing, for dealing with food in a sophisticated way, contained the biological blueprint for a new kind of life, the seed of the mammalian lineage that would one day rule the planet. And most famously, there was the magnificent sail that rose majestically from its back, a breathtaking, monumental structure of skin stretched tautly over elongated neural spines. This sail has been a source of wonder and debate for generations. Did it serve as a massive biological radiator, helping this cold-blooded creature warm up faster in the cool Permian morning sun, giving it a crucial metabolic advantage over its sluggish, less prepared prey? Or was it a vibrant, flamboyant display structure, a biological billboard used to intimidate rivals, signal dominance, and attract mates, a declaration of its genetic fitness printed across its entire back? Whatever its primary function, there is no denying the image of dominance it projected. Dimetrodon was the undisputed apex predator of its time, a synapsid monarch that stood at the very top of the food chain, a testament to the raw, untamed, magnificent power of the Permian era. Its existence dictated the terms of survival for everything else around it. But its true legacy transcends its ferocity. Dimetrodon represents a critical, undeniable step in the long, winding, and miraculous road that would eventually lead to the rise of all mammals. In its DNA, in its very bones, and its differentiated teeth lay the blueprint for a new, warmer-blooded, and more successful kind of life. Dimetrodon is a powerful, humbling reminder that even the most dominant figures, the undisputed rulers of their time, are often just paving the way for what comes next, a link in a chain far longer and more complex than they could ever imagine. The pinnacle of today is merely the foundation of tomorrow. Let us now leap forward in time, past the Great Permian extinction, a catastrophe that wiped out an unthinkable 90% of all life on Earth, to an age where life had rebounded with thunderous vitality. In the lush, humid, rain-soaked forests of Eocene North America, a new kind of titan walked the Earth. This was not a creature of explosive aggression, but of solemn, unshakable majesty. This was the Brontotherium. Imagine a beast the sheer size of an enormous elephant, its footsteps a slow, deliberate march that sounded like living thunder echoing through the ancient woodlands. Its name means thunder beast, and it's easy to see why. Its presence was seismic. Brontotherium was a titan of raw, unadulterated size and quiet endurance. Its most peculiar and defining feature was the strange, thick, Y-shaped horn that crowned its snout. Unlike the sharp, piercing horns of later mammals, weapons designed for lethal combat, this was a blunt, bony protuberance, likely covered in thick, protective skin. It probably wasn't a tool for inflicting mortal wounds. Instead, it was most likely a tool for display, a massive, unmistakable symbol of its strength maturity, and dominance within the herd, perhaps used in non-lethal, ritualistic pushing contests with rivals for mating rights or social status. This was a peaceful grazer, a herbivore whose power lay not in speed or terrifying ferocity, but in its sheer, immovable presence. It moved in slow, reverent marches through the landscape, a biological embodiment of fortitude. It was too big to be threatened by most predators, too resolute to be hurried, and too determined to be stopped. It was a living monument to the power of endurance, an animal that succeeded by simply outlasting and outweighing its challenges. The Brontotherium reminds us that there are vastly different kinds of strength required for success. There is the explosive, captivating, but often short-lived power of the predator, the flash of teeth and claw. But there is also the quiet, unyielding strength of the mountain, the kind that stands firm against all winds and weathers. It represents a solemn majesty, a force of nature that commands respect not through violence, but through its profound and unshakable existence. Can we find that kind of quiet, unhurried, and enduring strength within ourselves? The power to simply remain standing when all around us is chaos and speed. While the Brontotherium claimed the heavy, tangible realm of the land, another sovereign ruled an entirely different, boundless domain. We travel now to the late Cretaceous period, a time defined by the presence of a vast inland sea, the Western Interior Seaway, which submerged the heart of North America. Soaring effortlessly on the thermal updrafts high above this prehistoric ocean was the undisputed ruler of the air, the magnificent Pteranodon. With a staggering wingspan that could reach well over 20 feet, Pteranodon was a true masterpiece of aerial engineering. Its entire body was dedicated to flight. Its bones were hollow, yet incredibly strong, cross-braced with internal struts, a design of breathtaking efficiency and minimal weight. It was a specialist, a master glider, perfectly adapted to use the massive energy of the wind and the currents rising from the vast sea below. It would use its enormous, membranous wings to catch the air currents, traversing vast distances over the ancient sea with silent, commanding elegance, barely needing to flap its wings in a demonstration of effortless mastery. Its long, graceful, backward-pointing crest, which varied dramatically in size and shape between individuals, likely served multiple purposes. A refined rudder for steering and aerodynamic control, a vibrant display feature for attracting mates and signaling maturity, and a vital counterbalance to its long, needle-sharp, and completely toothless beak. From its vantage point, hundreds of feet above the world, the Pteranodon saw a landscape of endless blue water and teeming life below. It was a precision hunter, not a brute. It would spot the telltale shimmer of fish from high above and then execute a swift, plunging dive into the water, snatching its prey with its rapier-like beak, without ever having to engage in a messy, strength-based struggle. The Pteranodon symbolizes a different, higher kind of mastery, not of land, but of the sky and the invisible forces that govern it. It represents freedom, perspective, and the perfection of a specialized skill. Its silent, graceful flight, powered by invisible forces, is a powerful metaphor for rising above the chaos, for seeing the world from a higher perspective where the petty struggles below become insignificant, and for achieving a state of graceful, almost effortless fulfillment. But the Cretaceous world, with its mastery of the skies and seas, was also home to the terrestrial culmination of predatory evolution, a creature whose very name has become synonymous with prehistoric supremacy and raw, unforgiving power. On the coastal plains and volcanic ash-rich landscapes of what is now the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, a seismic, unstoppable force was on the hunt. This was more than a predator. This was a monarch. This was Tyrannosaurus Rex. Towering over the landscape at up to 40 feet long, with a head the size of a modern refrigerator, T-Rex was the undisputed, unquestioned king of its domain. Its physical power was almost beyond human comprehension. Its bite force was the strongest of any terrestrial animal that has ever lived, a crushing power measured in tons per square inch, capable of shattering bone with a single, devastating chomp. Yet T-Rex was not merely a brute force machine. The complex structure revealed in its fossilized skulls shows the presence of massive olfactory bulbs, suggesting it possessed a sense of smell so preternaturally keen it could track wounded prey from miles away, using the wind like a caning. Its eyes were positioned forward-facing, unlike most reptiles, granting it excellent binocular vision and depth perception, crucial tools for a calculated ambush predator. It was a finely tuned machine of intelligence and power combined. From legendary, near-complete specimens like Sue, the most celebrated and complete T-Rex ever found, we have learned the intimate details of its violent existence. We see evidence of massive, healed injuries, broken ribs, fused tail vertebrae, suggesting a life of brutal combat, not just with prey, but with rivals of its own kind. We see a creature perfectly adapted to its role as an apex predator, a ruler whose existence was a zero-sum game of dominance and consumption. T-Rex was the product of millions of years of relentless evolutionary pressure, a finely tuned killing machine, a true monarch of its time. It represents the ultimate expression of unfiltered power, forcing us to confront the raw, unforgiving nature of life and the relentless biological drive to be at the very top of the food chain. It is the ultimate embodiment of ambition realized. Our journey now takes us to a more recent, yet no less brutal era, the Pleistocene, the Great Ice Age. Here in the sprawling grasslands and forests of the Americas ruled a predator of strategy, surgical precision, and a complex social nature. This was Smilodon fatalis, the iconic saber-toothed cat. Muscular, heavy, and powerfully built, Smilodon was not a creature of speed, like a cheetah or a lion. It was instead an ambush predator, a master of the short-range, explosive charge. It utilized its immense physical strength to wrestle its massive, often far larger prey, like bison, camels, and young mammoths, to the ground, relying on muscle and gravity over speed and endurance. And then it deployed its most iconic, terrifying weapons, its colossal 8-inch canine fangs. These were not like the tearing teeth of modern cats. They were surprisingly fragile under lateral stress. Therefore, they were not used for slashing or prolonged struggle, but for a single, precise, surgical killing bite to the soft, unprotected throat or windpipe of its immobilized victim. It was a methodical, efficient hunter, a master of strategy and decisive action. The La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles have given us an incredible, poignant window into this creature's world, preserving the fossils of thousands of individuals caught in the sticky asphalt traps. These remains tell a story not just of individual ferocity, but of a surprisingly complex social life. The frequent presence of multiple healed injuries, including debilitating broken limbs, strongly suggests that these cats may have lived in cooperative social groups, or prides, where incapacitated or injured members were protected, fed, and allowed the months necessary to heal. This paints a picture of a creature that was not just a ruthless, calculating killer, but a social animal capable of cooperation and perhaps even a form of empathy. Smilodon is a tragic figure, an apex hunter at the peak of its power, immortalized in the black tar, a poignant symbol of a lost world that couldn't adapt to the changing climate and the vanishing of its large prey. It teaches us that even the most ferocious, uncompromising exteriors can hide a complex inner world, and that strength, even predatory strength, is often magnified and sustained through social bonds and community care.
Pteranodon, a master of the ancient skies, glides effortlessly.
Finally, our
above the
epic
dense
journey across the
Cretaceous
eons
jungle
concludes
below.
with an enigma, a creature so strange, so alien, that science itself struggles simply to place it on the tree of life. From the 300-million-year-old rock of the Mazon Creek Formation in Illinois, we have unearthed a fossil that completely challenges our classification systems. This is Tully Monstrum, affectionately known as the Tully Monster. It was a soft-bodied creature, just a few inches long, a fluid, ancient life form that floated through the prehistoric waters, a true living question mark. Its bizarre anatomy included 2 eyes mounted on the ends of stiff stalks, protruding from its body like headlights on an ancient submersible. It possessed a long, delicate, grasping proboscis, or trunk, that ended in a pair of claw-like structures, which were, in fact, its specialized mouth and teeth. But what was it, evolutionarily speaking? Was it an odd type of mollusk, an aberrant arthropod, an early, highly specialized vertebrate whose lineage has completely vanished? The scientific debate still rages today, with experts publishing radically different conclusions based on the limited, confusing fossil evidence. The Tully Monster is a profound and incredibly humbling reminder of the limits of our knowledge. It tells us with absolute certainty that the past is a vast, mysterious ocean, and despite our best efforts and our greatest scientific minds, we have only explored its shallowest, most easily accessible shores. It reminds us that for every T-Rex whose story we can largely reconstruct, there are countless bizarre, forgotten creatures whose entire existence defies our current understanding. It is an invitation to curiosity, to wonder, and to accept the simple, profound truth that some of the deepest questions about life's magnificent experiment may never be fully answered. The Tully Monstrum embodies the beautiful, humbling, and endless mystery of life itself. So what truly can these echoes of extinction teach us? What tangible, applicable lessons can we carry from their ancient struggles, from the brutal, unforgiving crucible of natural law into our busy, complex modern lives? The world of these creatures was undeniably brutal, governed by the unyielding, often cruel laws of nature. But their stories are not just tales of ancient violence. They are sagas of profound resilience, of brilliant adaptation, of necessary cooperation, and of the incredible, unquenchable power of life to simply find a way, no matter the odds. Their world is gone, but their echoes remain, etched in stone, whispering timeless lessons across the eons. Thank you for joining us on this incredible, humbling journey back through time. We truly hope it has sparked your curiosity and left you with a deeper appreciation for the magnificent, endless story of life on our planet. If you found this journey into our planet's lost history as fascinating as we did, please don't let the echoes fade. Consider subscribing to our channel. Click that notification bell so you never miss another echo from the past, and join our growing community of explorers as we continue to uncover the greatest stories ever told. Until next time,